This is the Honor Magic V2, the thinnest foldable phone on the market, but the real question is, should you buy it? Well, to help you decide, I took a deeper look at it, and I'm going to tell you everything I love and hate about this phone. And yes, there are a few issues we need to address. However, we'll start with the good stuff and end with the bad. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this is the thinnest foldable phone on the market at the moment, coming in at just 10 millimeters thick when closed, which is, yes, in all honesty, a little bit thicker than your general phone, but not by that much. It sits comfortably in your hand and easily fits in your pocket. Using it when folded feels pretty much like a normal phone, which might not sound that impressive, but it actually really is a big deal. Think about it this way. Most of the time, you'll be using your phone in folded mode. It's not going to be a massive open screen where you text your friend real quick. You're also not gonna go and say, hey, dude, yeah, I know, and I'm casually just speaking to you on the phone. That's a little bit obnoxious. You'll be doing this. So it's very nice that it feels exactly like a normal phone. And I say it's the same thickness as a normal phone, but it really is. Give me a second. This is my iPhone 13 Pro Max with a cover on it. Side by side, they are exactly the same thickness. The iPhone might even be a little bit thicker. That is crazy. The thickness of a foldable device really is a big deal. And the way Honor fixed the thickness of their device is by using a proper front display. It isn't a super thin the screen, which still doesn't make sense. They use the 6.4-inch 120Hz LTPO panel with a normal 20:9 aspect ratio. The real magic of this foldable device comes in at the titanium hinge that Honor used. It feels sturdy, really stiff and strong. And that's a problem I've noticed with other foldable devices, is that usually it feels a little bit too loose and it almost feels like you can snap them. However, this one feels like it snaps into place. So nice, it feels sturdy. And that's what I like about it. It's a flagship device. You expect it to be a sturdy feel, to feel like a quality hinge. And some of the other phones, they haven't really matched to this expectation. But anyways, fully opened up, this is an impressive 7.92-inch screen that is very similar to the front panel in specifications. It has the same 120Hz OLED technology, fantastic colors, HDR10 support. I'm also very happy to report that the center fold isn't very noticeable. Obviously, when you run your fingers over it, you will still feel it. And when in the right light, you might still see a little bit of a reflection. However, in day-to-day use, when the screen is on, you really do not notice it. They also say that the fold is rated for 400,000 folds. Now, here at We Do Tech, we like to put things to the test. So here's a 17,000-hour video of me testing the fold. Yo, now I'm tired of it. That was definitely a real test that I really actually did. Promise. Anyways, that's a lie. Moving on to things that isn't a lie. Take a look at these phones side by side. Can you notice something about the USB Type-C ports? Well, in the Honor Magic V2, the USB Type-C port barely fits. And that is really impressive. Now, another thing that you might be thinking is, well, if the USB Type-C port barely fits, then what about the battery? It must have a tiny battery in a device almost as thin as paper. Well, Honor was really clever with this. They opted for what we call a carbon silicone battery instead of a lithium-ion battery, which, only being 2 credit cards thick, it's still a massive 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Now, when you combine that nice battery with a very optimized OLED panel, you get battery life that is truly remarkable. For a device this big, this massive screen, a full day. And when you want to charge it, 50 minutes with its 66-watt fast charger. Yeah, I know. You and me both. We both feel the same about this phone. It needs to go into my pocket. The reason this thing is so power efficient is because of its chipset. It's running a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 octa-core processor. Yes, it can easily run almost all games you can think of that comes on a handheld device like this, and it can multitask really well too. That is one of the selling points the Honor Magic V2 has. It has this split screen mode where you can have something on the left, something on the right, and then also a little floating panel in the middle. Kinda like it. It also has a massive 16 gigabytes of RAM, standard. That's how you run multiple tasks at the same time. This is a workhorse of a phone. And speaking about a whole nother level, at the back of this phone, there's a whole nother level, which is your camera unit. A 20 megapixel telephoto camera, two 50 megapixel sensors, one which is a wide angle, which also doubles as a macro lens, and another which is your ultra wide. Now, something I should mention about this camera unit is that this is a review device, so the previous reviewer either didn't care and really damaged this camera, or the glass they used is really soft. Now, I want to test that out. You know, here at WeDoTech, we don't do things half-assed, so I have a scissors, and I'm gonna show you. Let's see what happens. Nada. Zilch. Okay, so the previous guy just didn't care. Moving on. My editor is really happy that this didn't crash and burn into flames. I couldn't bear the thought of this guy ruining this device. It's not even his own. I don't care. Here at WeDoTech, we do things the right way. I'm here for you guys. The camera is actually really impressive. One thing that really stood out to me about the quality of the camera used in the Honor Magic V2 is how close you can pull focus. For those people who really like close-up photos like of bugs and flowers, it's really nice to be able to go all the way up close to it and still pull focus. And that's exactly what we'd expect. It's a flagship device. We expect flagship quality, and that's what we got. Or is it? This is actually the first point of things I don't like about the Honor Magic V2. The cameras are great when in ideal conditions. What I've noticed is when I use the camera in low light situations, it gets a little bit more, how can I say it? Baka. Just kidding. It also falls apart when you push the digital zoom a little bit too far, like to its max. Let me just set this straight. The cameras aren't bad at all. They're amazing and they're fantastic. It's exactly what a flagship should do. However, with sensors that big in a phone this small, low light situations usually become a problem. We've noticed this in the past with many other devices, and it's to be expected. The biggest problem I have with this phone is the price. 2,000 euros in Europe, and who knows what they'll charge for this in South Africa. I'm yet to find out. I'll put it up here if I have a number by the time this video is done edited, or I'll leave a link in the description below that you can view. By the way, some of the links in the description are affiliate links, so if you buy your products through the links, you'll support the channel, and I'll really appreciate that, especially when I have to pay for phones like this when I break the camera. I'm so happy this thing didn't break. The camera didn't break, however, the bank might. And that's kind of a sad thing because you're not getting the latest chipset inside of this. You're getting V2 of the Snapdragon 8, not V3. It's a great chip. However, the fact that this phone launched a long time ago up in China and now gets transported over to the rest of the world for us to use means that the chip is still a generation old. And that's kind of sad. It still runs great and you can do everything you want to do with it. However, I'm one of those people that always likes to have the newest and best and latest chips. Unfortunately, you don't get that, and you also don't get the newest Android on it. Honor is known to not have the latest and greatest Android on it, but luckily that is just a software thing, so they'll update it soon enough. Something else that really scares me about this phone is the fact that it doesn't have an IP68 or any IP rating for that matter. Technically, they say it's not dust resistant or water resistant. However, they have an ad where they make this thing float on a piece of paper. Now, if I was you and me, I would not test that out. Travis, bring the water.
No.
Fine, we'll skip this one, but I'll do it next time. Enough comments and I'll do it. This is a really good phone. I'm really impressed with it. I'm so happy that they squeezed all of the tech inside of it that they did. And I don't have a lot of bad things to say about it. Besides the fact that it's a little bit of an old chip, besides the fact that the low light capabilities of the camera isn't that good, and the fact that it's not the newest Android, it's not a deal breaker. The dust-proof IP rating is a little bit of a headache. However, I'm pretty sure this thing is quite waterproof and dust sealed. They just aren't willing to put it on there yet. Probably because the device folds or something. Anyways, this was Stefan from WeDoTech. I hope you enjoyed this all over the place review, and I hope you want to see another one. You can click on this video right here, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.